Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Lost Ark video. Today's video is the Reddit video, you know, the video where we go on the Reddit and we do the video where we make the Reddit, where we do the thing on the video where we make the Reddit. Make sense? Okay, good. Topical Tuesday, we take a look at what's been happening over the past week on the subreddit for Lost Ark, Lost Bark, Lost Barkington. Today's, I guess I shouldn't say today's theme, but this week's theme is, it'll be apparent. There's a couple things that are recurring trends on the subreddit this week, and if you can guess, I'll give you a pat on the back, I guess? I was gonna say a pat on the head, but what are you, like an animal? I mean, maybe. If you want to be an animal, that's fine. Listen, I'll give you a pat on the head or the back, bud, if you can guess what this week's theme is gonna look like. First thing, I have some tabs open. Look at me doing a little bit of preparation. Doing a little preparing. I prepared, and I printpard. Listen, Chaos Dungeon change happened this week. This is one of the most upvoted threads, and I think it's a good one. Because I think a lot of people misunderstand sort of the rewards you get from this Chaos Dungeon change. Basically, what did they do? TLDR is they moved silver, well, I shouldn't say all, but they moved the majority of the silver and shards that you get from running Chaos Dungeons, rather than throughout the Chaos Dungeon. They backloaded it into 3 different reward tiers, and you basically get a lot more materials. And you also have to do a lot less Chaos Dungeons to get those materials. So, basically, every Chaos Dungeon you run gives you 50 points towards the reward bar. So basically you turn 50 Aura of Resonance into this like 50 points towards the reward tiers. And there's 3 different tiers. One at 100 points, one at 200 points, one at 300 points. Is there a screenshot here that shows you? No, this is just spreadsheets. Is there a picture of the actual in-game UI? I'm not actually logged on right now because I was grinding in MapleStory, so I can't pull it up in-game. But basically, it's like the Una's reward thing. Envision that UI. But instead of Una's things, it's for these boxes and silvers and shards. So, you get way more. There's just no way around it. Even if you ran your Chaos Dungeons every single day, you get more shards than you would have done otherwise. And if you're somebody that only ran rested every, what is it, 3 days? Rest, rest, run, rest, rest, run, right? If you're somebody that did that, you're not getting all 3 tiers of rewards, but the rewards that you are getting, you're getting the first tier and the second tier, you're still getting more silver and shards in those 2 tiers than you were getting previously. So even if you don't get all 3 tiers, you're still getting more resources than you were getting before the patch. And I think people are looking at this and being like, well, now I have to do it on rest. You don't. If you're already doing it on rest, keep doing it on rest in the same rotation that you were doing it. You're still getting more rewards than you were getting before. You don't have to change anything. If it's more worth it to you to run to get the extra box, which I think it is personally, then you'd be getting way more than you were getting before. You'd have to be playing a little bit more, but I mean, that's a decision that you can make yourself. Ultimately, this shit is fire. It's just, like, this speaks for itself. This is a table that shows you all of the rewards that you get, so you get a lot of shit, is basically what I'm saying here. And then there's also these event boxes that give you honing resources that come with it, and you get a lot of boxes. So for the first tier rewards, you get 4 boxes. For second tier rewards, you get 4 boxes. Third tier boxes, you get 6. I mean, obviously it changes depending on your item level, but I'm talking for a 1610 plus character. You get 4, 4, and 6. You get 15 leap stones per box, 150 red stones per box, 450 blue stones per box. You are getting a ton, and I mean emphasis on a ton, of just extra rewards, both shards, silver, and honing mats. This is probably one of the best changes they've done in a long time. It's fire. And then also this guy does a bunch of nerdy math, basically telling you the things that I kind of explained. just a minute ago, but you can see the bold here in general. New Chaos Dungeon system gives more rewards, especially in silver and shards. Between 40 and 60% increase in silver, if not changing any rest habits. And between 70 to 100 increase in silver, if changing to type C. I mean, you could read this if you want. He breaks it down. But like I said, if you're not changing your resting habits at all, like your wait, run, wait, run, if that's still what you're doing, you're just getting more shit, even if you don't get the third tier. This is one of the greatest changes they've done, honestly. And I don't mean to slurp off Amazon, but they did it. They did a good one. They did a real good one. So if you guessed Oreha fusion mats being the topic prevalent heavily in this week's sort of top threads, then you win a pat on the head or back. Submit it, your form, and I'll get back to you in 365 days, within 365 days. That's business days as well, so it might be a while, but you will get your pat if you were correct. Basically, a lot of people are being like, hey, we need more fusion mats. And, I mean, I'm never going to say no to more shit. I do think it is funny how we've transitioned from fusion mats to being like maybe 30% of the honing cost to it being like the primary honing cost now because of how cheap honing mats are. It's just kind of shifted the dynamic, which is funny to me. But I mean, fusion mats are expensive as shit, man. I'll be real with you. And I'm not going to say no to more ways to get them. I do think you could probably be giving out more in event shops. Like, we get, like, I think it was like 700 or 750 of them from the latest event shop, which isn't bad. But the number of fusion mats that you need is a lot. And yeah, people always make the argument you can just craft them yourself, which I mean, 100% you can. I just mean, like, why not give more through event shops, right? I don't know. You're looking at, like, what is it, like 1,300 fusion mats on average for 1 to 10 advanced honing per piece? I mean, that's a lot, man. I don't know. I do think, fuck it. I'm okay with getting more. Like, you need a lot of them, even for just one character. It's much more palatable if you're only trying to hone one character, but if you're honing multiple characters, yeah, that shit is crazy. But, and then this is the more thought-out thread about the same topic. Please add Orehas to the solo raid shop. This is a more thought-out for new players one, specifically as well. But I think the solo shop could do with having, like, fusion mats just in general for a weekly purchase, kind of like it already has, like, elixirs and the crafting mats for gear. I like the solo shop, and I think they can do a lot more with it. So, I mean, I'm totally for more, like, uses of the solo shop. So this guy's suggesting solo raids giving only bound gold. The amount of tradable gold rewards to buy Orehas is limited. You think it's an oversight in the design of the gold rewards. I mean, you can use bound gold to craft fusion mats at your farm and shit, but I definitely understand what he's saying, and I do think players should be getting some amount of tradable gold. But I digress. That's not what we're arguing about right now. We're talking about fusion mats. I do think adding some of them to the solo shop would be good. I mean, I'll say it. Controversial opinion. I think it would be fine. I think it would be great. I think it would be amazing, even. Also, as a veteran player, I just want cheaper Orehas, man. We all feel that, brother. You like the idea because Orehas are the cock block? Yeah. Crazy how controversial these comments are about giving new returning players access to resources that don't require them to either do tedious chores or pay with gold they aren't making because it's bound now. Like, bro, it's okay for people to have an easier time on the lower gear score. We all know it becomes a grind fest later anyways. I mean, yeah, I've been a very big advocate for making things more accessible. I think it's good. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any good reason to keep things scarce and grindy just for the sake of it. I do think you need some reason to play a game, but I don't think Lost Ark is struggling for reasons to grind, if you know what I mean. So they can definitely ease up on some of the older systems or some of the more tedious I wanted to say systems, but it's like it's just a byproduct of the game being older and them adding more and more and more and more things. So the older things that used to be fine because it was like the only thing keep getting more things added on top of them, so it becomes more and more tedious and tiring. So I think it's okay to alleviate the pressure a bit, especially for newer players. Like, newer players need help, man. They do 100% need help. They need more help that they're probably ever gonna get, but any help is better than zero help. So fuck it. I do think fusion mats in the solo raid shop every week would be a good start. AGS, now is the perfect time to take a stand against busing. With the introduction of solo raids, the upcoming nerfs to Echidna, and the change in the reward structure to Agar to not require hard mode for progression, it's time to remove the blight on the game. Busing benefits exactly one group, the bus seller. Negatively impacts everyone else by completely ruining the new player experience by reducing the amount of prog, low skill, low investment parties. The optimal way for new players to progress by buying a carry is absolutely abysmal for player retention. Increases the amount of imposter jailers as previous bus buyers snake their way into experienced groups when they don't actually have experience. It completely removes any sense of prestige from prestige titles, eclipse, etc. Obviously, you're never going to completely stop it, as people will find a way to meet any market demand, but at the very least, banning in-game advertisement would reduce the negative impact. Yeah, I mean, people are always... If the ability exists to sell something, such as a service or like a carry in a game, even if it's not permitted in an easy way, like, people are going to sell carries. I do think you should take the measures to try to ban them from the in-game. Like, you shouldn't allow them openly in-game. If it's something you want to do as like a seller, you should have to go through third-party websites and make it very hard in order to do it. You're never going to be able to fully remove it, but being able to reduce the ease of access or the prevalence of it is a good thing. And I think the top comment sums it up. If they banned it from Party Finder and Area Chat, things would instantly be a lot better. Just do this shit discreetly so it doesn't bug anyone else and new players don't fall into the trap of being perpetually bust. Like I said, if it was a little bit more inaccessible, I think it would be a lot less of a problem, because a lot less people would, one, see it, two, feel like it's the only way to progress, three, I mean, just interact with it in general. It's kind of like the old adage where it's like, a lock keeps an honest person honest type deal, you know what I mean? It's not quite the same thing, but you could hopefully get the idea behind the metaphor. You shouldn't just have it laying out in the middle of the road being like, hey, come take a fucking bus, 50k, and then that being like 90% of the lobbies. That is just a bad look. I think it would be better to see 0 lobbies up than just bus lobbies, and I mean that with all of my heart. Just one day, open Party Finder and see 5 learning parties instead of this BS. Like, even if you don't see that, just not seeing the prevalence of how many bus lobbies exist would be better. It's better to see 0 lobbies than to see 7 bus lobbies for the first mode or Gate 3, Gate 4. But it is what it is. And then also, I do think that in addition to doing this, they should still nerf normal mode to make it clearable by people who are not very good at the game. I really do mean this. I know this is like a weird take for some people, but again, you should make it more accessible, not less accessible. Keep hard mode to be whatever difficulty you want it to be. I don't give a shit, man. But let people clear normal without much struggle. I don't know why that's a bad... I don't know why that is such a bad opinion / take for some people. I don't know why that's a bad thing. It makes me feel like I'm crazy for saying it sometimes. Let people clear normal. That's it. Don't lock things behind hard mode. Make normal mode acquisition rate slower. Make hard mode give more gold, faster mats, whatever. But make normal easy, man. That's it. That's all. That's all I got for you this week. Thanks for hanging out as always, you guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you to my YouTube members as always. Blitzel, Remix My Life, I'm Nufu, Airzyke, It's Biscuits, Inder Diz. You guys are all the greatest. Consider becoming a member. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye.